am Amina.
And I fear nobody. Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Nolly Review with Ike, where I review some or most of your favorite Nollywood movies and then give you a bonge gist of what's in the happen for the Nollywood space. Well, I know it's been a very long time since you last saw me. I've taken this time to go relearn so that when I come back, as I have done, I give you more value for your time and for your data, of course. So let's get to it. But before we do that, I just want to say thank you to the amazing 43 subscribers that I have. You guys are the real MVP. Like, I cannot believe that you watch my videos and you subscribe to hear me ramble about Nollywood. It's just really, really amazing. Thank you so much. And if you're new to my channel, please click the link below or somewhere on your screen. Like this video, comment, and share, please. It means a great deal to me. Well, let's get to the business of today. So how I want to do it is, I won't just give you the good sides of the movies and all, and then I'll try to weigh the scale and let's both of us see why this movie is either good or bad. Now, the movie came out recently and it talks about Queen Amina of Zazzau. Now, Zazzau is present-day Kaduna State or Zaria, and the story of Amina happened, say, in the 16th century, where there's this woman who defied all the odds, who wanted to be herself, who she joined the military, became the paramount leader of Zazzau. I think the 23rd or 24th leader of Zazzau, ruled the city for 34 good years. She learned how to fight. The story of Amina is just really amazing because it spans ages. Like, I mean, that story has been swatted. It has been, I don't know what to even say. Like, they don't play with that story tire. Like, that we don't even know the real contents of what the story of Amina entails. But then, recently we see a movie come up on Netflix, Amina, and apparently this movie was made, I think, in 2015, but then we're seeing it now, and it just makes me wonder why that long. But then we're lucky and we're happy that the movie has come out, and then we can enjoy this historical story, sort of. So, well, let's get to it. Now, we're going to start with what I really enjoyed, or what I really liked about the movie. First of all, is that the movie is historical. Now, a lot of persons argue that we sort of, the blacks or Nigeria, sort of, we were nothing before the whites came. And then it's just so interesting to see that there are these cities that existed even before the white man landed on our shores, where they were trading salt, they were trading horses, they were trading goods and all that stuff. And I just couldn't understand. So perhaps the only thing the whites brought to us was English. You know, and it just doesn't make sense, because now we look at ourselves as though we did not have a past. And it doesn't really make sense. Now, the story of Amina is one that proves to people, or proves to us as Nigerians, proves to us as Northerners, proves to blacks that before the whites came to us, we were something. And it's just so important that we know this and use it. Now, the second thing I liked about this movie basically is not so much about the movie, but the audacity of the storytelling. And what do I mean by that? Now, you observe that not so much is known about Queen Amina. We've heard stories, yes, but then telling the stories into a movie this huge is something that I praise the directors and everybody who played a role in this movie, in making this movie happen. It's just so really amazing. Like, though we cannot tell if the storyline is truly correct or accurate, but then what we know is that this is Queen Amina's story told by someone, and it's just really amazing to see. I really enjoyed, or I like the fact that someone was daring enough to make a movie this huge about something that happened, say, in the 16th century. It just shows to tell us how important it is that we hold our history so close. It goes to tell us how important it is that we remember these past heroes, what the lives they've lived, how they've affected lives, how they affected nature, how they affected us as a people. So in my opinion, I felt like the casting of this movie was not so much it for me. Like, I did not see the flow of between the characters and all that. Like, they were just so off. Because sometimes the truth is, actors, they do amazing work, but then for a performance to be as good as it should be, I should not feel as though you are acting, because your acting should be like an emulation of life. But I didn't see that. I didn't see that with Amina, the characters of Amina, because I felt as though what they're doing was like a stage performance put in the movie. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I felt. So the other thing, and it's something I feel a lot of persons have been talking about now, is the language of the movie. Now, people say, or people feel, personally I feel, that they would have spoken Hausa throughout the course of that movie, because for crying out loud, in the 16th century, nobody was freaking speaking English, especially not in this part of the world. And then making a movie where all of the characters, most of the characters at almost every point of the movie was speaking English in what should be a typical Hausa movie did not make sense for me. I mean, look at Squid Game. Squid Game is originally a Korean movie. Okay, it was dubbed into, I think, 12 or 13 languages, and then, I don't know, the subtitled into 31 languages. But then the core of Squid Game was that it is a Korean movie. But then I felt as though the producers, or not producers, but in my opinion, I feel like they wanted to conform with the movie, and it just didn't make sense. It didn't feel original. I mean, the Amina movie did not feel as original as it should be. Now, there's a point of conflict for me where I felt like, now if you've seen the movie, throughout the course of the movie, you see that Amina and her sister Zaria, they learned or wanted to learn how to fight. And then you see a couple of times where they practiced it. But at the point where Zaria was killed, it felt as though she was helpless. Now, this is somebody that we've seen as strong and fierce at the beginning of the movie. But then when it came to the real thing to fight, she was doing like a scared princess that her prince is missing or something. It just didn't feel so great for me. And then she died without protecting herself that much. It felt as though there was something missing. Now, I don't want to say the worst flop of all, but it's something I found very interesting. Now, is the love or is the chemistry between Danjuma and Amina. Now, you know when in love stories where it should feel as though this thing is organic. Now, this still points down to the character, the casting of the movie. Their love story didn't feel organic to me. So we've heard of stories or stories that have been told, not this movie now, of Amina, where she picks, after every battle, she picks a guy or a man from the opposition, sleeps with him, and then the next morning she kills him. But then they feel that way with Danjuma, and I don't know, maybe it's the directors or writers of this Amina movie, they just wanted to do something with it, but then it didn't just make sense. Their love story didn't feel organic to me. So Danjuma was arrested when he was younger. He's a prince of Igala. He was arrested when he was younger, beaten and all that. Though at the beginning of the movie, we see him defeat the so-called almighty, what did I call him now? I can't remember the guy's name, but then we see him defeat Zazzau's almighty warrior at the beginning of the movie. Instead of the Sariki of Zazzau giving him justice, they put him in prison. Now, later on in the movie, I think that was the first time Amina saw Danjuma. Later on in the movie, I think 15 years later, we see Danjuma is released. Now, there's a contrast. Whereas the Danjuma we saw at the beginning of the movie is so thin, he had scars on his back and all, he was so slim and all that. And then the Danjuma we are seeing now, 15 years later, he's fatter. He has pot belly. So I don't understand. So were they feeding them in prison like big men food or stuff? I don't know. It just, the contrast was just so much, and I didn't feel like the storyline flowed. Now there was also the point where the priestess sent Amina to not Zazzau, Daura, to go to this well. I think in Hausa mythology or so. I've forgotten the name of the well. I think I've forgotten really, but they asked her to go to this well to get the water to bring back to the priestess. When they get there, she's attacked. Now we do not see, they didn't carry this water back to the priestess. We do not know what the water was for. It's supposed to be like a grand plan to secure her, or to secure her destiny or so, but we didn't see the effect. It was just as though they were just cutting and joining part of this movie, the scenes, and it just didn't make sense for me. But that's my opinion though. You might see this movie in a different light, but I feel like the producers and the director did well. They did amazing. I thought it's the audacity for me to tell a story this huge is commendable. Really, it's really is commendable. But that is what I think about the Amina story. If you feel there are things I didn't touch, or there are things I didn't remember to put in, please leave them in the comment section. And remember to like this video, remember to share, remember to click the subscribe button. I'm getting a hang of this thing. I don't know how this thing works, so.